Everyone. Do you know that friend who's always the life of the party? The type who can talk to anyone from the guard to the company CEO. They're always full of energy, always smiling, and seem to have no problems in life. We think that because they talk to so many people and have so many social media friends, they're surrounded by love and true connections. But do you know, my dears, that often, they're the ones who feel intense loneliness? This is the paradox of an extrovert. They have many acquaintances, but only a few, or sometimes none, that they can call true friends. It's hard, isn't it? That amidst the noise and laughter, there's a part of them crying out for quiet and understanding. Just imagine, you're the center of attention. Everyone laughs at your jokes. Everyone wants to hang out with you. It feels great, right? But when you go home, when you take off your makeup and your costume for the day, who's there for you? Who can you call just to cry without being questioned? This is where the struggle comes in. Because people are used to you making them happy, it feels embarrassing to show that you also need support. It's like an obligation to always be okay and always be strong. That's why they just hide their true feelings behind a huge smile and loud laughter. Being an extrovert is like being a host at a big party. You take care of everyone, making sure every guest is happy, has food, and is enjoying themselves. But in your busyness of taking care of others, you sometimes forget that you also need to eat. You forget that you also need to sit down and rest. That's how it feels. You keep giving and giving your social energy to everyone, but at the end of the day, who will fill your cup? Who will ask you how you really are? This challenge is not easy to navigate, especially if the whole world expects you to be the sun in their cloudy sky. That's why often extroverts have many situational friends. Friends for drinks, friends at work, friends for going out. But that's it. When a deeper conversation is needed, when comfort is needed for problems, everyone suddenly disappears. In the end, even surrounded by hundreds of people, they still feel alone. It's hard to find someone who sees the real you, not just the happy version you show to the world. It's hard to find someone who will stay, even when the party isn't fun anymore and the music has stopped, because true friendship isn't just about laughter, but also about crying. One night, after a fun episode of Showtime, an extrovert friend of mine, let's call her Alex, texted me. Alex is known for being the life of the party. But her text was simple. "Mimi, can we talk?" And that's where a long and honest conversation began.
Mimi, it's confusing. Just earlier I was so happy, I was laughing so hard with all my friends. But when I got home, it felt like something was missing. My chest felt so heavy. Is this normal? Why do I feel like I have so many friends on Facebook, but no one to call right now to tell this to? It feels embarrassing to ruin their vibe, right? I'm supposed to be the happy one.
Friend, that's totally normal. It's like that sometimes. Being an extrovert is like being an actor. You have a role to play. Your role is to be happy and make others happy. But that doesn't mean you're not allowed to get tired and sad.
But how? How do I tell them I'm not okay? They might think I'm being dramatic. They might leave me because I'm not the fun friend they know anymore. It's hard, Mimi. I want a friend who will just listen. Someone who won't judge me. Someone who, even if I cry in front of them, won't say, "Hey, that doesn't suit you."
I could clearly see the heavy burden she had been carrying for a long time in her words.
You know, Alex, a true friend will love you not just when you're laughing, but especially when you're down. Friends who disappear when you're no longer happy, they're not true friends. They're just an audience. But what you need is not an audience, but a co-star. Someone who's with you in all scenes, whether it's comedy, drama, or horror.
Maybe so, Mimi. Maybe I'm too afraid to show the real me, because maybe if they see my sadness, my insecurities, they might not like me anymore. It's easier to pretend to be happy. It's safer.
But how long will you pretend, friend? That's tiring. True strength is not in hiding weakness, but in admitting it. Try opening up to one or two people you trust. See who stays. That's where you'll see who's true. You don't need 100 friends. All you need is one or two real ones. Someone who, no matter what happens, you know they won't leave you. Someone who will wait for you to finish crying and say, "Come on, let's eat, my treat."
And that night, we both felt that we weren't alone in this feeling. One of the main reasons why extroverts find it difficult to form deep connections is because their social script is centered on being happy and entertaining. From the beginning, they've been used to their value in a social circle being their ability to make people happy, make them laugh, and maintain good energy. Because of this, they're afraid to show their vulnerable side. There's a fear that if they show their sadness or problems, people's perception of them might suddenly change. They might not be invited to the next parties, their entire identity is anchored to being the fun friend, so being sad feels like a betrayal of their brand. Second, extroverts get energy from social interactions. Because of this, they tend to focus on quantity over quality. The more people they talk to, the more social events they attend, the more charged they feel. The problem is, forming a deep friendship requires time, focus, and one-on-one moments. It's hard to achieve this if your attention is always divided among 10 people at once. Deep connection is not formed in large groups, it's formed in quiet conversations, in sharing secrets, and in spending quality time with just one person. Another thing is performer's fatigue. Just imagine performing on stage every day. It's tiring, right? That's how many extroverts feel. After being so tired from being on in front of many people, when they get home they no longer have the energy for deeper conversations. They'd rather just watch TV or sleep than invest more emotional energy in a deep conversation. This is the moment when, even if a friend wants to check on you, you'll just say, "I'm okay, just tired," even if you're not really okay. The fatigue from social performance becomes a barrier to forming true intimacy. And finally, there's also a fear of rejection that's more intense for them. Because their self-worth is often tied to social acceptance, the idea that they might be rejected if they show their true selves is terrifying. It's easier to maintain 1,000 shallow connections than to risk a deep connection that could lead to pain and rejection. Being vulnerable is a big gamble. For an extrovert who is used to always winning the social game, the possibility of losing by being true is a risk they find hard to accept. So they just choose to stay in the safe zone of jokes and shallow conversations. So, my extrovert friends, how do we overcome this challenge? First, choose your player. You don't need to be vulnerable with everyone. Choose 1 or 2 friends whom you feel you can trust. These are the people who show genuine interest in you. Not just when you're happy. Start with small things. Try sharing a small problem or insecurity. Observe their reaction. If they listened, cared, and didn't judge you, that's the sign. Take it slow. Trust is like a plant. It needs gradual care to grow and become strong. Don't rush it. Second, schedule quality time, not quantity time. Instead of always having group hangouts, try setting up one-on-one dates. Have coffee, watch a movie, or just walk in the park. In moments when it's just the two of you, there's more opportunity for deeper conversations. Here, you don't have to perform for an audience, you can just be yourself. Ask them things you wouldn't normally ask in a noisy bar. How are you really? What's your biggest fear? These kinds of questions open the door to a person's heart. Third, learn to receive. Sometimes we're afraid to open up because we're also afraid to hear other people's problems. Be a safe space for your friends. When they share their problems with you, listen with all your heart. Don't rush to offer solutions. Sometimes all a person needs is a willing ear. When they feel safe with you, it will be easier for them to be a safe space for you too. Friendship is a two-way street. What you give is what you get back. Be the friend you want to have. And finally, be kind to yourself. Remember that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to be sad. You're not a robot. You're just human. And being true to your feelings is not a weakness, but a strength. Don't force yourself to always be happy. Allow yourself to be real. The people who truly love you will stay no matter what. And for those who leave, let them go. Because they're just making space for people who deserve your true and beautiful self. Remember, you are enough. And for those who are still searching, don't lose hope. True friends will come. Maybe they're just around the corner, just waiting for you to be real. Have a good time, everyone.